What's up, guys? So, today I'm going to talk just a little bit about the latest news. I am late to the game. There are already videos out on this, but what I do want to look at real quick is let's see, from NASCAR 25 Games official account will be available for pre order, blah, 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 September 18th, which is next week. So we're going to take a look at this real quick before I say anything else. So, oh, and here's another bit of news, but I'll get to that in a second. So, you've got a gold edition at 80 bucks, standard is 60, and 24.99 for the season pass. We'll go through what that stuff gets you, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. Steam does not come with 3-day early access because, as you know, PC is not coming out in the same time frame as the console version. We already knew that, but there is some good news on that front. So I'll get to that in a second. So in yellow, you see what the pre-order bonuses are. You guys know how I feel about pre-orders. You guys know how I feel about DLC and that stuff. I'm not against all DLC. It just depends what it is. Um, and you have to judge for yourself what's worth what. But the pre-order in particular, I'm just against it as a consumer. Like I don't think it's good business practice for a consumer to commit their money to a product they don't know uh, enough about, right? We don't know what it is yet. We know what based on everything that we've been shown, what they've talked about, we have a good idea of what this product's going to be. But at the end of the day, we don't know if this is going to be a really good product or it could be a disaster or it could just be something sort of average, right? You should at least know what you're getting for sure before you spend money on it. I don't think there's a need for pre-orders. They do make it, they try to entice you with stuff. Again, if this is worth it to you, that's your decision. I just, in general, for me, I don't think it's good business practice for any consumer to ever commit their money to a product until they know exactly what it is. I just don't think it's smart business, and I think it helps promote this business model that I think has helped ruin the gaming industry. And ever since microtransactions and DLC and then this pre-order stuff, it's like all of these things I think takes away some of the focus of the main game itself. And developers have to spend a lot of time on the side working on all of these things, especially DLC stuff. Um, so let's get into that, but I just wanted to get that out the way. I know that iRacing isn't going to want anybody saying that stuff. This is nothing personal. This isn't about the developer. This is about consumers. It's just bad business practice to do that as a consumer. And there's nothing anyone can tell me that's going to change my mind on that. If you guys are going to do it, that's up to you. I'm not going to say anything else. So the gold edition's 80 bucks. Um, you get 3 days early access. So you'll get the game 3 days earlier. If we waited this long, I don't think waiting a couple of extra days is a big deal. But we do live in a time where everyone has a very impatient uh, position on things, right? Everybody wants everything, they want it now. Um, 5,000 career bonus dollars. I'm not sure how the money's going to play in. I know it's a career thing, career mode thing, but I really hope it's vital that the actual money is that they did a good job in creating a balanced value system where you don't get things that are ridiculously overpriced, or like you feel like every dollar that you earn, it feels like it's actually going to mean something. You look at Grand Theft Auto, you see ridiculously overpriced items. Same thing with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's one of the things that really helped ruin the online. It wasn't the only thing, but the online is extremely disappointing, and it was since the outset of that game. And a lot of it had to do with the monetary system within Red Dead Redemption 2, ridiculously overpriced weapons and items, and they made it so that everything was such a ridiculous grind that it wasn't fun, right? And that's the whole purpose of the game. You're supposed to have fun, and there needs to be proper balance in every aspect of the game. And even one of those things is the monetary system, and how that's balanced out. So I'm not sure what 5,000 career bonus dollars will get you, and how far does that stretch, or is it going to be something that you find out it's really meaningless, right? I don't know the answer to that. But same thing with career rep points and how that's going to work. I am curious to see that. This is my thought on this stuff. I don't understand why people see that. It really does depend on how the game is balanced, right? Because in one sense, um, I can understand why people want to skip a grind if it's too grindy or if it's ridiculous, right? If the developer purposely makes something so uh, hard to attain, and at the same time it's not even fun to grind, then I understand why they might want to skip some of that, or at least get some kind of a head start. But the problem isn't, the real problem is creating a game that is the grind is actually engaging and fun, and gives you a sense of accomplishment, especially in a sports game. I just never understood, like, the grind is part of it, in my opinion, and it helps get me to enjoy a career mode that I actually worked to attain something, or as I progress through the game, I'm earning it rather than taking a shortcut because I paid and I got a bonus. So I don't understand why people would want that, but everybody does it. I understand why iRacing does it or is doing it. This is just the way. This is the business model of video games. This isn't going to go away. But I do urge people to be more responsible as consumers. This isn't, because this is what incentivizes more of this, right? Moving on. 3 additional paint schemes for cover drivers, right? So I don't, I couldn't care less about that. I just don't see, but it does come with the standard edition. So it's not really a bonus for the gold edition. You also get it for standard, which is good. But, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Base game, of course, you get the base game. VIP employees. This is very interesting. I'm wondering. This must play a vital role in your career. And employees, I guess, at different talent levels are going to play a role. I hope so, that's what it is. Um, so that's cool. But no VIP employees if you only buy the standard edition. This is really, really bothers me. But of course, if you pay for the season pass, you will get them. So if you're just somebody who buys the standard edition, you're going to get screwed here. Career bonus dollars. Again, this is part of the grind. I don't care. I don't need it, don't want it. I want to earn it. Same thing with the rep points. Um, 3 DLC packs featuring 230 paint schemes and fire suits. Now, the fire suits, I'm really looking forward to seeing how customizable is this, right? We haven't really heard much about the customization of your player or avatar that represents you. So I'm curious to see what that is. But again, if you buy the standard edition, I think this is another area that you're kind of getting screwed. I'm not a, this is what happens, right? When you create this business model where now they're actually stripping parts of the game that used to be standard and they're separated to repackage it or sell it to you at a higher price. So it's that bothers me a bit, but that's the business model that consumers have helped create. This is why I tell people you are partly responsible for how developers and publishers do business. This is why Madden football is where it is and EA operates the way it does is because of consumers. And until consumers decide to take a stand and be more wise in spending their money, nothing's going to change. Now, I'm not judging iRacing before we see anything, but I don't like the business model aspect, but this is everyone's doing it. So I'm not going to go too crazy with it. Um, so, you know, I all right, let me move on to some good stuff. And there is good stuff here. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what this is, but again, if you're someone who only wants to pay $60 for the base edition, you're missing out on some pretty cool stuff here. This stuff I wouldn't feel bad about because this is grind. This is you're supposed to grind. That's what a career mode is. You shouldn't want to skip that stuff. You should want to feel like you earned stuff. That's part of that sense of accomplishment when you play a sports game that you earn things and it makes you feel better as you move along. I'll never understand why people want to skip that stuff. Um, that's that it's like the journey is sometimes better than the destination. Like you got to enjoy that every aspect of reaching a destination the journey itself is part of it, and so oftentimes can be even better than the final destination. And that's how I view this stuff. So moving on from that, here is some good news. Now, as you guys know, PC is not coming out at the same time, and we had no idea when PC was coming, right? But here, same account, Steam will be about 1 month behind console, it says here. I hope you guys can see that. We're locking in the final date and we'll announce it early next week. But because there is no pre order for Steam, there is no early access when it arrives, which makes sense. But now we find, excuse me, now we finally know that PC is going to be give or take a month after this. I'm happy about that. I was worried that it would be a much longer wait because, if you don't have any clue about something, you always think the worst. It's just human nature. But I'm very happy about that. I can wait an extra month. It's not the end of the world. I actually have some patience and I try to preach to people to be a little more patient. So they're supposed to announce it early next week, and it's about a month behind console. So it's not going to be exactly a month. We don't know exactly when yet. Um, but that's great news, in my opinion. If you're somebody waiting for the PC release, waiting an extra month, making sure they get everything the way it's supposed to be without issues, hopefully, um, it's not bad. We waited this long, we can wait an extra month. In the meantime, you're going to get a good taste of what this game is. And then, you know, on the off chance that this game is not something that you want, then you're like, it is what it is, but I'm not buying it on PC because what I see on console, I'm not happy with it. Um, I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm really high on this game. I know I shouldn't be so positive, especially coming off of what happened with Ignition, but I really most of the things I've seen and heard and we know about of this game, I'm happy with the direction. And I just can't see these guys screwing this up. I don't, I'm not telling you the game's going to be perfect or anything like that. There's going to be issues. Every game has issues, but I really think they're really putting a lot of effort into this, and I'm going to be shocked if it's a bad product. I don't think it is going to be. So yeah, I can wait an extra month. I'm excited. Here's one thing I'm hoping for if anyone at iRacing's listening. When you make this announcement, don't just tell us the date. Don't just at least give us some information on the PC because we know the PC is going to have some differences, right? Every PC game is different from its console counterpart, right? So just small details, right? Like in terms of peripheral support. Uh, is this going to be supported by VR? I don't use VR, but I'd like to hear stuff like that for those who want to play in VR. Um, is there triple screen support? I play triple screens. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be supported by D-Box initially. Uh, I did uh, I did write to D-Box and I got a simple response that this game is on their list to code for the motion simulator, the D-Box, but um, there's no solid timeline on that yet. And it's not like it's on their list. It's on their to-do list. There's no guarantees though. So I'm not expecting anything anytime soon. Um, so yeah, but I'm very excited to know that it's going to be about a month away. And yeah, give us some information on peripheral support, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm really excited about next week. Supposedly they're gonna finally release the gameplay trailer, or give us gameplay footage. I'm hoping they give us a little bit of different types of tracks. I'm not expecting a ton of footage. Everything they've shown us so far is real small snippets. So I'm not getting my hopes up to get like a full 5-6 minute video of nonstop gameplay, but give us something like where you get a good sense of, okay, this is what it looks like at this track. Give us a little super speedway, a little bit of intermediate, a little bit of short track, a little bit of road course racing. Enough that we can get a good bite-sized sample that we get a sense of what it is. At least that's what I'm hoping for. So anyway, I've done enough talking. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. I look forward to your comments later.